it's going to be a next generation skyline changing event for Woodstock. I say going to be. We're current. If you drive over there right now, we're moving dirt now. So.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into our show today, Married in Business. Kyle and I will be talking to Michael Caldwell. He is the co-owner and founder of Black Airplane, and he is also the mayor of Woodstock, Georgia. So we are super excited to have him on our show. Thank you, Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm outstanding, guys. Thank y'all for having me. It's an honor to be here with you guys today.
Well, thank you. What I want to talk about first, you've got a growing business in Woodstock. You got a big presence downtown. You and your partner started the business a while ago. Can you tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey, kind of where that fire got started, and then how it kind of led to Black Airplane and how you guys, I guess, actually took off with Black Airplane, pun intended.
I would love to. I thank you for the good pun. You can't halfway a name like Black Airplane. So I should have been wearing my flight jacket today. Always fun asking an entrepreneur to tell you their story, right? Because that can go for a very long time. So I'll do a good job, I hope, of truncating for you. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My father started and sold software companies while I was growing up. And so, I could tell you it's in my blood. I love entrepreneurship. I love building. I love building teams and have sort of spent my career doing that. Prior to Black Airplane, David Leggett, my partner, and I were two of four partners who started a safety equipment company that we built up to about 30 and sold to 3M back in 2015. I spent 2 years under an equity lock-in at 3M, got out after that 2 years, and David and I knew we were going to go start something together. We decided we were going to start an agency. We had both started our careers in software, wanted to get back into that world. So we were going to start an agency called Propeller. We found a designer we really liked who was running a little sole proprietor company called Black Airplane. We loved the brand. And so we sat with him and said, hey, rather than start our own brand and come up with a logo, let us buy yours. You can come on. We'll start the thing that way. He came on board. David and I kicked it off, the two of us, back in 2017, May of 17. And now we're about 30 full time. We're doing work for some of the largest companies on the planet. We get to do some really, really exciting work here. And so I guess important to say, Black Airplane, we do custom software development. We build web apps and mobile apps, and we build them for anywhere from your pioneering founder who is sort of post-revenue, but trying to figure out how to transition into a digital world, to your veteran product owner in enterprise who needs help and needs some mercenaries to get in. And I always tease you point, we code. So we get to build some really cutting edge things, from touchless technologies to AI integrated technologies. We do a lot of B2B and B2B or B2C solutions, and it's a really exciting business to be in, especially right here in the heart of Woodstock, to get to do genuinely transformative work that way.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's how we first kind of met you guys. You guys did our first generation of website, and then you guys got too big for us, I think. And then, but your team is amazing, and we love that you guys are right here in Woodstock. And
well, thank you for that. We loved partnering with you guys, and we're genuinely grateful to y'all. We have so many spectacular partners from the early days there, and it's been really fun to, you build a company up to a stage where you're always trying to build a culture and sort of build the machine that builds the machine. And I think we outkicked our coverage on the team here. We really outkicked our we have more A players than we have a right to have here. And so it's been so much fun to get to watch the team sort of grow and build its own culture and legs under it. And so as much as David and I get to lead this place and work in it every day, I also feel like I get to watch it every day. It just sort of has a life of its own. And it's been, over the 6 years, getting to watch it grow has been, it's been one of the blessings of my life.
So can you tell us a little bit about the growth of the company and your team that you've grown? Because, Woodstock, this kind of ties in with you being mayor of Woodstock a little bit too, but Woodstock's always been known, and probably part of Cherokee County has been known as a bedroom community where people have to leave Woodstock to go work in Atlanta or somewhere else. What are you seeing with the people there? Are people now coming to Woodstock to work for you or work for Black Airplane? How's that coming along?
Yeah, it's a great question. So this is where worlds start to collide and cross over, right? So there's no way I can talk about issues like this without talking about being mayor. I'll tell you, one of the three priorities for my administration is commercial diversification and employer attraction. And part of the reason for that is for those who have watched Woodstock's story for any period of time, we were 4,500 people in 1990, and we're almost 40,000 people today, and our footprint hasn't changed. So we have genuinely just grown that much within a 13 square mile city. And that makes us one of the fastest growing cities in America. But in addition to being one of the fastest growing, we actually had 3.2 million visitors to our downtown shopping district last year, which makes us one of the most visited. Isn't that amazing? In a city of 38,000.
Families coming in to see their kids.
It's
We're always there,
crazy.
like on a Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. We're like, what are these people doing? They have to work, you know.
Who's here right now? Every restaurant's back.
We have the largest we have the closest outlet mall to the city of Atlanta here in Woodstock. And the owner of the outlet mall lives in Illinois. Well, keep in mind, though, that 3.2 million doesn't include the outlet mall traffic, only includes downtown Woodstock. So the owner of the outlet mall comes down to meet me. He lives in Illinois. And I asked him to meet me at the brewery on a Tuesday at 2. And I'm about 5 minutes late. I walk up and he goes, "Mayor, what is wrong with this town?" I went, What does that mean? He goes, "The brewery's full. The park is full. Does nobody here work?" So I love Woodstock for that because it's you get a lot of sort of suburban and exurban cities like this that show off a really great Friday and Saturday night life, but then they're dead through the rest of the week. And what I love about Woodstock is it's just alive and vibrant all the time. It doesn't matter what time you come downtown. You're going to run into people. You're going to see people eating and drinking and the arts in effect and just a vibrancy that makes me really proud of this place. But we built in the course of 2 decades a tourism and retail destination that ranks us among some of the leading tourism destinations in the southeastern United States. The challenge to that is it is a spectacular industry to build, but it forces us to, you get the live, work, play triumvirate. And I always tease, yeah, it's a great place to live, work, and play, but you have to pick two. You can either afford to live and play here, or you can afford to work here, but you're not going to find a job here that allows you to live in these $1 million homes, and you're not going to be able to live and play here if you work in one of the retail and tourism jobs downtown. So we've got to start attacking that both on the affordable housing side that every city in America is struggling with and trying to tackle. But we also have to build the economic development side where we're bringing in more traditional employers who can help employ the people who already call this home. So I say all that to say I am practicing what I preach in that we have built a business here that is employing people who by and large live within 10 or 15 minutes of the office here downtown. And so we are a remote friendly company. We have employees in Ohio and Michigan and DC and Florida, but the dramatic majority of our employee base is right here in the heart of Cherokee County. They come into the office regularly, not because we require them to, but because they want to come hang out in the hangar in downtown Woodstock. And so we're really trying to build that basis and show I'm not trying to attract the Amazon regional headquarters to downtown Woodstock. I want employers who are 50. Yeah, well, you're right. There's no space. And I also don't want what happens when you do that to a town. What I love about Woodstock is we went from 4,500 people to near 40,000, and we still feel like Woodstock. It's authentic, genuine, organic. It doesn't feel plastic. You don't do that when you attract these big brand names to come reinvent your town. I want companies who are 50, 100 employees who this is home. They treat it like home. They invest heavily. Their employees go out to lunch. We can do that. And I think we stand a better positioning to do that now than we ever have before. So we're working hard on that.
What's interesting about Woodstock is there's places that are really developed, but there's also land that's still available. So it's like, you have this corner right here and it could be something else there too. What plans for growth do you see with businesses that you guys are approving and coming in for that?
Yeah, there's a lot happening in Woodstock right now. I teased in my State of the City this year. I promised you orange cones and I delivered. Now I'm sorry for the traffic that's causing. But we've got a whole lot of projects going on. I think the two of the ones I really like to highlight, one being an infrastructure one and one being a real economic development project. The economic development side is our city center project downtown. So right in the heart of the city. If you're familiar with Woodstock, you know where Morgan's Ace Hardware used to sit. We think about that as just the building in the parking lot, but in reality, Woodstock, the city owns the 4 acres there at the corner of our two main streets in downtown Woodstock right now. And on that parcel, we're building out new retail, new restaurants, a 120 room boutique hotel, 50,000 square feet of office space, and then a 647 space parking deck that all of those structures will wrap. So you won't see it from the street, but you'll have access to it and be able to use it. It's going to be a next generation skyline changing event for Woodstock. I say going to be. If you drive over there right now, we're moving dirt now.
It's
So
under construction.
it is happening.
Nice. Every time we got to make the loop around downtown Woodstock on Main Street, then back up through the shops and everything. You make that loop a couple times trying to find a place to park. Everyone's going to be happy about that.
And that's such a good segue into the infrastructure project that we just wrapped up. Being familiar with Woodstock, you guys will know the roundabout that we just installed. Everybody thinks about it as the roundabout project, but in reality, it's an entire hub transformation project. So we added and moved lanes on Mill Street and Town Lake Parkway off of that roundabout. The project itself costs less than $5 million, and it's reduced traffic on 7 main arteries downtown. We have completely changed the face of traffic on Main Street now. You can actually drive down Main Street at rush hour. And that was not
good.
Yeah, and it didn't require pavement installation, right? It was just using infrastructure more wisely. Install a roundabout at the right place, two-way traffic on Mill Street, change the pattern. Because the problem you were running into was all that traffic over at the Elm Street Green and Reformation and all. 60+% of our downtown visitors come from the west. They're coming from Town Lake. They're coming from the interstate. And when they come in, they'd go park over there and then they'd want to go back. Well, there was no left on Mill. So they'd have to go out to Main Street, turn left on Town Lake Parkway. You tell me what 2 left turns on your 2 busiest main streets does to a downtown, right? Solving for those left turn issues, solving for that 2-way Mill Street allowed for us to, now you can leave the brewery, you get out of town before you ever hit a traffic light. And it just fundamentally changed the traffic patterns downtown. So
that's
I'm
really exciting. I love that.
Really proud of that.
We live up in Canton too, so that coincides too now that now we live up here off Highway 20 where you can actually get down Highway 20 now. It's finally open, so that's
lane.
It's a beautiful thing.
Solving problems across the county. So this question just popped into my head. Typically you get into the, city government. You're an entrepreneurial mind. You got a business. Then you get into city government, and Woodstock's always been pretty forward thinking and everything. But how do you manage that entrepreneurial spirit and trying to that go and you see things differently than say, just a regular person that's maybe not owned a business or anything? How do you keep that going? And how do you keep that entrepreneurial spirit and kind of foster that with your role as mayor and then managing all the other, like the council members and everything else? Is there just something different in Woodstock, or is there something active you have to do to kind of push that along to keep things moving in the direction that you want to have it go?
Yeah, I think the simple answer is yes and no, right? I guess for the sake of your listeners, I spent 8 years in the House of Representatives before my time as the mayor. I'm actually the governor's appointee on the Georgia Technology Authority, which is a statewide authority that sets technology policy for local governments and departments. And I'm also on the Atlanta Regional Commission that sets we do everything, but distributes a whole lot of federal funding through infrastructure projects and other causes too. I say all that to say I get to see government at a federal, at a state, at a local level all the time. And those things are not all equal. And by that, I mean local government is where it's at. And it's where it's at because local government tends to be the most responsive, most direct access form of government you could possibly have. And because of that, I think it makes it a lot more conducive for an entrepreneurial mindset. And so you're right in that Woodstock tends to be more forward thinking. We've got about 220 staff in the city of Woodstock. And so we're not a small enterprise, right? But the team, you have a team full of people who are spectacularly good at what they do, but they're also looking toward tomorrow. And so when I got elected mayor, we went on our city council retreat with all of our department heads. And the message I gave them that day was, listen, I have been in state politics for the better part of a decade. The meanest thing that will ever be said of me has already been said. So if you guys screw something up, don't worry. I will be there. I'll have your back. except for one situation, and that is if you screw things up because you're moving too fast, good. Move, fail fast. We are in a pivotal defining chapter in our city's history. We have to move. And so bringing that entrepreneurial mindset in. But if you screw things up because you were sitting on your hands, because you're afraid to move, because you didn't want to take a chance, I'm out. Like that is the one theme for the administration is a sense of urgency. Move the ball. Now is our time to define who will be for the next generation. And I'm really excited because we have a staff of people and we have a council who have grabbed onto that and run with it. We have a city that I really think is intent on making sure that our kids inherit a stronger Woodstock than we did, and we inherited a pretty strong place. So I'm proud of it.
I love that philosophy. Hey, keep moving. If you fail, okay, own your mistake, fix it, don't do it again, and then keep going. Versus hey, I'm versus the other side where being afraid to mess up, so you just don't take any action.
You can only fail
so
by
risky.
standing still. Trying to stay the same is just dying slowly. So I am a big believer. You succeed or you learn, right? You can't actually fail because you're going to be better the next time after that failure point. So I would rather get to those points quickly. Let's figure out what they were. Let's go back through them, understand them, and then let's move forward stronger than we were the day before. So better today than yesterday, better tomorrow than today.
That's awesome. That's one thing we talk about is, especially with starting a business or things like that, not waiting. If you wait for the perfect time to start a business, you're never going to get there. You have to really take that leap of faith. We talk about that. And as an entrepreneur, you see a need and you meet it. You can't wait for somebody else to do it or else they're going to do it. And then you won't have an idea to do. So I think it's great to always be thinking of what can we do next. I know with our business and planning, we're always looking to the future. So I love that.
You have to. It's the only option, right? Forward is the battle cry.
I know that's right. Yeah, and we recently just did that. We had to do kind of a 180 on our trucking business, and it's been an up and down last year and a half. But that's what had to be done to really adapt to what the industry's doing, and also what we want to do as well. Kind of stress level of what we're wanting to handle and things like that. So it's very cool. It's cool to see that. Now, it kind of led me to another thing. So when we first met you guys at Black Airplane, you guys were doing websites. You're kind of doing a lot of stuff. I remember you're doing apps and everything now. What led to that focus of now just kind of mobile apps or web apps, those kind of things, and kind of narrow that focus for you guys to help you grow?
Yeah. So to all of the entrepreneurs watching or those who want to become entrepreneurs, my best advice is exactly what I think you guys would give, which is in the early days, get out there and money is green, grab it and run. As you continue to grow, you buy yourself the opportunity to really focus in and choose your work. And so in our industry, especially, what we are doing today is not what we were doing 5 years from now. What we will be doing 5 years from now is unlikely to be what we're doing today. It just moves and changes too fast. Look at the last 6 months with the advent of AI and what that means for technology in general. Everything changes, and it changes especially fast in our industry. And so for us, it's wildly important that we understand our business in and out, that we understand our customers and what they need, but mostly that we understand what actually makes money here, and what makes enough money and enough margin and enough reliable work for the team who's here. And by reliable work, I don't just mean work you can count on being there. I mean work that also incentivizes and gets the team excited too. So one of the biggest challenges in my space is it's a wildly competitive talent industry. And so I am constantly competing for, when I say we've got too many A players, it's because we're always competing for those A players here. And so part of that is compensation, and part of it's just making sure that they have work that they get excited to get up and do in the morning. And so that means focusing in on the kinds of products that make the largest difference for our partners and our clients, but also get our team excited to keep working in. So many of the things we've abandoned over time were because we were focusing in on what really added value for clients. We have had tech stacks that we've abandoned, not because we couldn't find work in them though, but just because the team didn't want to work on them. And so it's always a balancing act of, you always take care of your people, you always take care of your customers, you find where those two things overlap. And I think you can find a spectacular business future.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's a big difference between, say, doing an app for a local government or a state government somewhere versus something that you see on TV, or you go out when you go to a sporting event or something like that, that you see, oh, hey, that's me. We did that, right? So
There are,
that's,
I would love to tell, there are a whole lot of apps that you likely use that I cannot tell you we've built, but it's a lot of fun to get to open them up and play around in them. And it's really exciting for the guys who sit in here who get to work on
yeah.
those all day long.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. I stayed in a job probably longer than I would have a while back because I was working on military aircraft.
Hmm.
And having that sense of fulfillment, or having
That was right when we got together. I thought it was pretty cool
having
too.
that sense of purpose really helps drive you. And and as I got into some other jobs, I didn't have that until started our own business too. So that's a great way too to kind of get that personal fulfillment as an entrepreneur. You get to choose on what you want to work on. So
Well, and that's so important too. Look, entrepreneurship, we all glorify it because it's exciting and it's sort of the sexy adventure of business, right? But at the end of the day, I know a whole lot of really unhappy entrepreneurs. It's because they haven't defined for themselves what it is that they want to be doing. They haven't figured out for themselves what it is that inspires them. What is their life mission? What are they after? And so, to exactly your point, I find when you can wrap purpose into something, it's amazing how long you'll stick with it because it's really figuring out your why is everything, right? And so, if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't figured that out for yourself, the baseline question may be, is entrepreneurship right for you? But once you figure out what that why is, it is amazing what an engine entrepreneurship and business building can be for filling that why. You can find everything about Black Airplane. All of our handles are at Black Airplane and blackairplane.com. We are building some incredibly cool technology. We'd love to partner with you to do the same. And then on the public sector side, you can find me at mayorcaldwell.com or the official channels at woodstockga.gov. And you can always find me on Twitter and everywhere else at Michael Caldwell. It's been an awesome honor to be with you guys. Absolute joy. I'm grateful to you for letting me have some time with your audience, and would love to get to know you guys and your audience even better.
all right, well, thank you, Michael. It's been great to have you on the show today. Again, everybody go check out Michael's links with City of Woodstock and Black Airplane. And if you like what you heard today, hit that like and subscribe button and follow along for what we've got coming. We've got more guests coming along and a lot more content coming your way in the future. Again, thank you, Michael. It's been great having you on the show, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Michael.